Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be doing what I hope will be a quick fix on this pair of speakers that you can see on the bench here in front of us. They've got an intermittent problem on them which now seems to have become permanent. So here's some shaky cam footage that I shot earlier to explain more. We've got this computer switched on down here, which goes via that little source selector box that you can see there, and then that goes via this subwoofer to this pair of speakers. Now when I start this stereo test we should get sound out of both, but
side, right, side, right. Side, right, side, right.
Might be a bit quiet. I'll boost that if it's not fully coming through. But as you can hear, we're getting sound out of the right hand speaker and absolutely nothing out of the left. So I've checked it's not the box, little source selector box. I've made sure it's not the subwoofer. I've checked all the cables and whatnot, so I'm sure it's the speakers. So let's get these speakers on the bench, we'll take a look at them, see if we can figure out what's wrong. And here they are. So as we saw in that bit of footage, I'm getting sound out the right hand speaker and nothing out the left. I use these speakers on my retro PCs that are left out all the time, be it for using, playing games and whatever, so I need these speakers to work. They are a pair of Yamaha YST M10s. And the reason I use these speakers in particular is one of pure nostalgia. The very first PC that I bought, it came with these horrible, cheap, sort of generic, tinny sounding rubbish speakers. They were unamplified, they were unpowered, they got their power solely from the line out jack on the sound card. In fact, they didn't even have a volume control adjustment on them. You literally had to change the volume from within Windows or from whatever DOS application you were using. They were basically just tacky rubbish speakers, and they were one of the first things that I wanted to get rid of and upgrade. So in early 1995 I remember reading a review for these speakers in a magazine, and reading that review convinced me that these were the ones to buy. I don't have the issue of the magazine with the reviewing, but I have found the issue of the magazine with the advert for First Computer Centre where these would have been bought from. It's April 1995 and I paid £46 for them, which is roughly £77 or about $106 today. Then later in the year, in the September issue, they were giving a pair of them away as a competition prize along with the subwoofer and a sound card. So I bought the speakers and the sound was massively improved. These are way better than the horrible things that they replaced, and I think they still sound pretty good today. They've got good treble, good mid-range, and while the bottom end is a little bit lacking, that's why I pair them with the subwoofer, which is a Yamaha YST M10. Whilst it's a subwoofer designed for these speakers, it's got its own crossover and amplification all built in. So any pair of speakers that uses 3.5mm jacks, you can link it in line with those and it'll just work. And together, I think they sound great. Now these are not my original pair of YST M10s. I don't know what happened to my original pair. I think they got lost during a house move. These are some that I bought on eBay and I've restored them. They are one of the first things I ever restored and I think they've come out alright. The cases, they were cleaned and retrobrighted, as were the little panels at the front and the buttons and dials. They were given a good clean. The speaker grills were in horrible condition, so I got the closest matching speaker fabric I could find and recovered the grills. I think that's come out alright. There's just a little bit of excess material on one or two corners, but other than that, I think they look pretty good, especially for speakers that are around 25, 26 years old now. I have had a look in these speakers just to make sure there's nothing obvious, and I can't see anything that would be causing the problem that I'm having. In the left speaker there's really nothing other than the jack, the 3.5mm jack that takes the sound to the driver. The right hand speaker, that has circuit boards in with all the amplification and whatnot on there. So I'm sure the problem will be in the right speaker. So, how are we going to fix the problem with these speakers? Well, fresh from eBay, another pair of Yamaha YST M10s. Now the seller says they were working, but I think the first thing we need to do is get them unwrapped, have a quick look, and let's make sure they are. And then the plan is we're going to take the guts out of this right hand speaker and transplant it into the other one. These don't look like they're in the worst condition. Quite a bit more yellowing on the right hand cabinet than compared to the left. Bit of a mark on here that needs cleaning up, and really quite yellow on this right hand side and the top. But not too bad. Hopefully, as long as they work, they'll do exactly what we need. Just as a quick comparison, here's my restored left hand speaker compared to that dirty right hand speaker. As you can see, fair difference in the colour of the cabinets, and the buttons and dials down here, they're much browner, I guess is the best way to describe it. Almost a sort of dirty type brown, which is what these look like before I restored them. Right then, before we go any further, let's give them a test. Okay, everything's plugged in, let's switch on. All looks okay. Right, I've got the same stereo test file that you saw in the shaky cam footage, so let's give that a try.
Right, side, left, side, left, side, right, side, right, side.
Okay, that all seems to be working fine, so let's start taking this right hand speaker to bits. Thankfully, taking these speakers to bits is fairly straightforward. Just 2 screws at the top, and then 2 more at the bottom, and that allows the body of the cabinet to come away from the front part. Using a flat tool, we need to prise this nameplate off the back, being careful not to damage it so that it can be glued back on when the speakers are reassembled. Underneath it is a clamp that goes around the cable jacks to give them a bit of extra support. 2 screws hold that on, and we need to remove them. If we carefully separate the 2 pieces, you'll see the speaker driver and the main circuit board in the front, and then on the wires connected to them is the second circuit board in the back with the power jack and the input jacks. And we need to release that circuit board in order to separate the 2 pieces completely. If you peer in there, you might just see 2 black screws on that silver bracket, and that's what's holding it in. And with a little wiggle, the circuit board's free. Looking in the front, we've got the main circuit board in the bottom, the speaker driver in the middle, and the little bass tube at the top. The main circuit board is held in with just 4 screws, so that should be straightforward to remove. As for the speaker driver, I could leave the driver in here, but that would require me desoldering the wires. So I'm going to remove the 4 screws holding the speaker driver in as well, and just transplant the whole lot into my speaker cabinet. Right, so all I've got to do now is repeat this process again to get the faulty stuff out of my speaker cabinet, and then repeat the process again, but this time in reverse, to put this good stuff back in there. Ah, stereo sound. How I've missed you. I've got no idea why the sound card's putting that strange reverb effect on the Duke 3D main theme music, but that's a problem for another day. Right now, I'm just happy my speakers are working again. So with that, I'm going to say if you've got any comments, please leave them below. Also, please give me a like or a subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.